Imagine a love story that defies every rule you've ever heard. A female nun and a priest, bound by faith, yet with a bond deeper than anyone could ever imagine. When he was on his deathbed, the priest asked for something so shocking it left everyone in disbelief. What he requested would change their lives forever. Stay with me till the end to find out what happened next. If you're part of the Black Visionaries family, hit that like button and subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories like this one. Sister Mary Clare had spent most of her life in the quiet, secluded walls of the convent. Every day, she dedicated herself to prayer, to working with the children, to assisting the elderly, and to performing her duties without question. She had always believed that her purpose was clear, to serve God and never deviate from the vows she had taken. Love had never been something she sought, nor did she believe it was meant for her. Her life was supposed to be about sacrifice, purity, and devotion. Then came Father Thomas. He was new to the parish, a priest with a calming presence. He carried an air of quiet authority and compassion that immediately drew people in. The congregation admired him, and it wasn't long before Sister Mary Clare noticed him too. She admired how he spoke with such conviction during sermons, how he treated each person with a unique sense of care. But it wasn't just his words that captivated her. It was the way he looked at her, as if he could see something she'd hidden from the world, something deeper than just the facade of a nun. Sister Mary Clare brushed it off, telling herself that this was just another passing feeling. After all, she had made her choice long ago. She had taken a vow to God. She wasn't supposed to think of love in this way. Father Thomas, however, had his own battles. He found himself drawn to the quiet strength of Sister Mary Clare. It wasn't just her dedication. It was the way she carried herself, a kind of grace that seemed to make everything around her still, as though the world paused to acknowledge her presence. Over time, he found that his thoughts lingered on her, that he caught himself seeking her out more often, whether in the church or during his walks through the grounds. There was something about her that made him question the vows he had taken, that made him feel an emotion he hadn't expected. Yet, both of them kept their distance. They never spoke of what lay beneath the surface, for they both knew the consequences. They were bound by their commitments to the church, their devotion to God, and above all, their belief in what was right. But there was no escaping the undeniable connection between them. Father Thomas's health started to deteriorate slowly. It wasn't obvious at first, just a slight weakness, a lingering cough, but soon it became clear that something was wrong. He was not the strong, energetic man he once was. He fell ill, and it didn't take long before he was confined to his bed, weak and frail, his once vibrant eyes clouded with sickness. Sister Mary Clare found herself by his side every day, helping him with his meals, administering his medicine, and sitting with him during the long, lonely hours. Their conversations were simple at first, the kinds of things they had spoken about before, matters of the church, of the community, and the welfare of those around them. But slowly, those words turned to something else, something deeper. In the quiet of the night, as Father Thomas lay still, unable to sleep, he whispered her name. His voice was raspy, faint. She leaned in, brushing his forehead, her heart heavy with a fear she hadn't fully understood before. "Father Thomas, what is it? Is something wrong?" she asked softly, her voice betraying the worry she felt. He smiled weakly, but there was an intensity in his eyes that she hadn't seen before. "Sister Mary Clare, there is something I've kept locked away in my heart for too long, and I need you to know. I can't go on without telling you." Her heart skipped a beat, but she remained composed. She had seen many priests and nuns at their most vulnerable, but this felt different. This was more than just a moment of weakness. This was something that demanded attention. Father Thomas struggled to sit up, his hand reaching for hers, trembling slightly as he did. "Sister, for years, I have loved you. Not as a priest loves his parishioners, but as a man loves a woman. I never sought it, but the truth is, I have loved you from the first moment I saw you. I have carried this secret with me, and now that I am near the end, I can no longer keep it from you." Sister Mary Clare felt her chest tighten. The words were like a shock to her system. She had known there was something there, something unspoken, but to hear it said out loud, it changed everything. She had spent so much of her life suppressing her own feelings, convincing herself that love had no place in her world, that it was a distraction, a temptation to be avoided. But now those feelings were brought to the surface, and she was forced to confront them. For what seemed like an eternity, she remained silent, unable to form the words to respond. She had spent her entire life devoting herself to God, to her vows. But now she was faced with the realization that she had been in love with him too, in her own quiet way. She had built walls around herself, but those walls were beginning to crack. "I never wanted to hurt you," Father Thomas continued, his voice breaking slightly. "But I couldn't carry this burden any longer. I needed you to know that I love you, that I have always loved you, and that my heart is at peace knowing you understand." Tears welled in her eyes, and she reached out, taking his hand in hers. "Father, I—" Her voice faltered, unable to express the emotions surging within her. Before she could say anything more, he let out a weak, raspy laugh. "You don't have to say anything. You've already shown me more than I ever expected. Just by being here, just by caring for me."
And just like that, the weight of unspoken love, of years of secret longing, was released into the air between them. It was raw, beautiful, and heartbreaking all at once. In that moment, they both knew what was unspoken, that their love, though never acted upon, had been the thread that had tied them together all along. Days passed, and Father Thomas's condition worsened.
The illness that had taken him from a strong man to a shadow of himself eventually claimed him. On a cold winter morning, he passed away quietly in his sleep, with Sister Mary Clare by his side. She held his hand as he took his last breath, a small smile on his face, as though he had finally found peace. In the days that followed, Sister Mary Clare was left with an emptiness that she couldn't explain. She mourned not just his loss, but the loss of the chance they would never have, the future they could never explore together. She never told anyone about the confession he made to her. She kept it locked in her heart, a secret that only she would ever carry. As time went on, she found solace in the love they had shared. Though it had never been acted upon, it was real. She carried Father Thomas's memory with her every day, not as a regret, but as a beautiful and painful reminder of what love could be. And though she never sought to replace him, Sister Mary Clare lived on, helping others navigate their own struggles with love, faith, and loss. She had learned, in her final years, that love didn't have to be perfect or lived out in grand gestures. Sometimes it was enough to simply acknowledge it, to accept it, and to let it shape you into a better version of yourself. And in the quiet moments, when she was alone with her thoughts, she would remember Father Thomas, not as a man who had left too soon, but as the man who had taught her that love could be pure, even in the most difficult of circumstances. Thanks for watching. If you were as shocked as I was, don't forget to subscribe, the Black Visionaries family, and hit the bell icon for more unbelievable stories like this. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Until next time, stay aware and stay tuned.